it's in New York.
Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, has reported its first ever drop in earnings and revenue after being hit by a fall in advertising sales. The company also issued a lower than expected forecast for the third quarter, with revenue between $26 billion to $28.5 billion. Its rivals Twitter and Snap also reported disappointing numbers last week. Well, let's talk to Santosh Rao, the head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners. Welcome back to the programme, Santosh. So clearly very disappointing results for Meta. What's gone wrong?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can agree or disagree about the recession aspect, the technical, non-technical, but one thing you cannot disagree with or have any controversy about is that the business is slowing down across the board in the tech sector. We saw that with Microsoft. We saw that with the other companies that reported as well. The advertising revenue is down, which is the main growth engine for Facebook. That revenue is down. Small businesses are spending less, and just across the board. So they're cutting back. So net, I think the biggest threat right now for them is their main growth engine, which is Instagram, is being threatened by TikTok, which is growing and taking away their users. Even though the user growth is there, the engagement is there in Facebook, but the revenue, the cost per revenue, the revenue per user is falling. So I think that's impacting Facebook to a large extent. So net, things are slowing down. They need to cut back and they need to readjust. So it's a work in progress, Facebook is.
Last week, we saw poor numbers from Twitter and Snap. How key is advertising for companies like these and Meta, of course? How much does it damage revenues when advertising spend goes down?
Majorly. I mean, that's their main part of their revenue. Between Google and Facebook, they control 80 to 90% of the overall ad spend. So I think between them, they both are going to be impacted, less so with Google. But Facebook, yes, it's a big part of that. But they are adjusting to it. They are moving around it. The Apple, with that ad targeting, discontinuing of that, I think that's having a major impact on Facebook and others who dependent on that feedback with the ad reception and all that. So I think that's playing a big part. Facebook is working around it, so they need to do a lot more to get back their revenue stream. But at this point, the businesses are slowing down. That's the main thing. So the demand side of the equation is slowing down, and I think they need to ride this out. They can do it. They're still a huge company. They're close to 2 billion users, daily active and monthly active users. They're pretty high. So they're still a juggernaut, but in the near term, they need to ride through this TikTok factor and others kind of nipping away at deals. I think that's the key thing at this point, and they'll come around. Plus, they have this metaverse thing going on, which nobody knows. It seemed like a sinking hole and just money going in. But I think Facebook has pretty much said that they're going to be careful about it. They're going to cut back. They're going to rationalize their expenses. So I think that's a little comfort for everyone as they go forward.
Well, I want to look ahead because Apple reporting their results later today. What are you expecting to hear from them?
Yeah, Apple, I think this is going to be a soft quarter. Normally, the June quarter is seasonally the slowest quarter because you're going into the September quarter when new iPhone releases come out. So I think you're going to see a soft quarter. There's some issues. China opened up. It's on again, off again, but I think it's generally opening up. iPhone sales will be pretty good. But overall, I think it's going to be a soft quarter. They will meet their numbers, which is slightly down from the last year. But I think overall, we're not expecting a gangbuster quarter. It's just going to be a mellow quarter as we get into the next quarter where they release their iPhone 14, is it? Yeah, it's iPhone 14. So I think that's a big wait. People will wait for that. And plus, it's a best of breed out there, so you can't go wrong with Apple. It's going to be a little volatile in the near term. But you have to bet on the long term because they have a number of levers that they can pull down the road.
Okay, Santosh Rao from Manhattan Venture Partners. Good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.